Hello and welcome to this session on customer service. So my name is Alison and I work for White Rose Retail Consultants, and I've been in the retail business for 30 odd years. I've worked in UK high street, food and non-food, travel retail and international retail, so I've got quite a varied background in lots of different retailers. So this session is going to be on customer service. So in this session we're going to cover reading your customer, greeting your customer, listening and talking, an inclusive environment, product knowledge, features, advantages and benefits, service touch points, dealing with disappointments and advocates. So reading your customer. Well, customer service, it's all about establishing a relationship with your customer. It might be a short-term relationship, it might be a long-term relationship built over a number of visits from a customer. But that building a relationship establishes trust, and trust is where you convert people into sales. And being able to read a customer it's a skill. People are people. They behave differently, they have different expectations. And reading people's intentions is challenging at times. 7% of the communication that we deliver is what we say. 23% is how we say it. The rest, 70%, is non-verbal. So it's the way we present ourselves, it's our body language. So imagine the impact that you can have with a relationship with a customer if the way that you present your body language is not positive. So if 70% of our communication is body language, then the most important part of greeting your customer is establishing eye contact. And establishing that eye contact with them at around the same time as you deliver a greeting. Now, the greeting, again, this is my personal opinion. I hate thinking that people have said something to me when they're delivering service because they've got a script, because they've been told to say that. I find it really irritating and insincere. So my advice to you is, if you want to engage in a truthful, authentic relationship with your customers, is to be truthful and authentic back to them or with them. So don't read from a script. Speak from your heart, not from your head. Be authentic and say whatever comes into your head, which would be a normal greeting. So it might be hello, it might be good morning, it might be, well, my favourite's morning, because I can say morning and it just sounds quite musical, but that's my favourite greeting, which is tricky in an afternoon, but some people prefer, it comes naturally to them to be more formal. It might be an A up, it might be, whatever comes naturally, but it comes out of your mouth from your heart and not from your head. And it's got to be natural. If you know your customer's name, use it. If a customer comes in regularly and you know they're called Mrs. Brown, it makes such a difference if somebody says to you, morning Mrs. Brown, how are you doing? Because you're a person then, you're not just a number. And think about how you would welcome somebody into your home. If somebody that you knew knocked on your front door, how would you welcome them into your home? You wouldn't just open the door, turn your back and walk off. You would say hello to them, you'd say come on in. You would engage in a conversation with them. So that's greeting your customer, but now what about listening and talking? So when you're dealing with customers in the store and you're trying to find out what it is that they want, asking someone if you can help them is a surefire way for them to say, no, I'm just looking, thanks, and then you've shut it down. So, but a lot of people think that starting a conversation with a customer it's really unnatural and it's a bit like pulling teeth. So ask lots of open questions, and one of my favourite things to do is just to make a comment about something that they're looking at. It might be, oh, we do that in red, or I've got that and it's marvellous, or I made lasagna with that last week and it was brilliant, or my friend wore that to a wedding and she looked amazing. It doesn't have to be about selling the product, it can just be a conversation about the product in general, because people will not feel threatened that you're trying to sell them something if you just start a conversation about the product. Actively listen to what your customer is saying to you and hear the bits, hear all of it rather than the bits that you're just trying to listen to fit it to a product that you sell. You need to listen to the whole thing. Don't just listen for the key words that will allow you to go, that product will suit your needs, because actually that product with a bit of probing might not be the right product at all. And if you haven't got what they want, don't try and sell them something that's not suitable. Direct them to somewhere that sells the product that they want. And that might seem a bit strange, but it's about building trust in your customer or with your customer, so that they know that you're not going to sell them something they don't want. You're going to sell them something that they do want, that is what they need it for. And then the next time that they need something, they will come back to you because you were truthful, you were honest, and when you couldn't help them, you didn't try and sell them something that they didn't want. You directed them to the place or to someone that will be able to help them. I always think that listening and talking should be done in the ratio of the orifices that you have for those purposes. So you've got one mouth, you've got two ears, so that's the ratio that you should be doing your listening and your talking in. An inclusive environment. You know, an inclusive environment is not just about having wheelchair accessible premises, it's about more than that. And this figure astounds me. The purple pound is worth £249 billion a year, and over 21% of the UK population have got a disability of some sort, and it might be visible or it might be invisible. Imagine if you could increase your customer footfall by 20% by being more inclusive with your environment. The impact that that could have on your sales, but also the impact that that could have on your customers and delivering a service to them that includes as many people as possible. So some of the things, and this is not an exhaustive list by all means, you know, there's huge amounts of information out there to help you to make your environment more inclusive. Things like keeping your aisles uncluttered, not having piles of stuff everywhere, having enough room to manoeuvre wheelchairs and pushchairs around, having larger font on your point of sale or your ticketing, and making sure that your contrasts of your colours are good. And on things like doors, having the handles a different colour with a good contrast to the back panel, having suitable lighting, having quiet hours, having a seat for resting. Being aware of things like a dark rug on the floor might be seen by some as a black hole, and so they don't want to step into a big hole. Things like that, just being aware and making sure you adapt your environment as much as you can to be as inclusive as possible. Product knowledge is possibly, other than delivering positive customer service, product knowledge is the key to that. So you've got to know your stuff. You've got to know about the products that you sell. Different people have got a different requirement for information. So knowing your product knowledge is fundamental to delivering good customer service. Some people want to know about the performance of a product. Some people want to know about the technical details of a product. They want to know the hertz and the kilowatts and how long a charge lasts for, and all sorts of technical stuff. Other people want to know it's going to save me money, it's going to deliver the product that I want in 30 seconds, and that's all they want to know. They're not bothered about the technical details. So it really depends on the person. But product knowledge is not a one-way street, because your customers have got knowledge in a lot of instances of the products that you're selling. So if you're having a conversation with them, bear in mind all the stuff that they're saying about these product types. Store it in your brain, because you'll be able to use that in future conversations with customers. And they've got a huge amount of information, particularly when it comes to technical things. And then consider different ways that you can deliver the product knowledge. So it might be that talking is the best way. It might be that giving a demonstration on a product. It might be a static video. It might be point of sale. We've seen all examples of these. If you go into hardware stores, you can see videos on the end of aisle doing demonstrations. We've seen point of sale. We've seen demonstrations being given in real life, in real time. They're all ways of which you can deliver product knowledge without having to physically do it yourself. So have a think about whether any of those ways of doing that are relevant to your business. But one way of delivering customer service and product knowledge is using features, advantages and benefits, and it makes it easier to talk about product. So a feature is usually a physical attribute of a product. So if we take a sweatshirt, for instance, the physical attribute, the feature is the sweatshirt is fleece lined. So the advantage is what the product does or how it performs. So the product is fleece lined, which traps the heat, the body heat in the fibres. So that's how it performs. And then the benefit is what that means. So the sweatshirt has got a fleece lining. That traps the body heat in the fibres, which ultimately keeps you warmer. So you've got the feature, the advantage and the benefit. And if you think of all of your products like that, you can talk about them for ages, because you pick a feature, you talk about its advantages, and then you discuss the benefits. And then if people want more information, you pick another feature. But it means that you don't have to worry about, oh God, how am I going to talk about this product? You don't have to think about how you're going to talk about the product. Find a feature, talk about that feature, and the conversation will come flowing. Service touch points. There's various points throughout a customer journey that you've got touch points where you can deliver customer service. Some people want a constant presence of somebody available to you to ask questions from, to get service from. Other people want to be just left alone, to have a browse. Generally, the culture of British people is to be left alone. When they want something, they'll ask for it. Different cultures have got different behaviour and expectations, and they expect to be somebody to be with them as they do their shopping around the store, and to be able to immediately answer questions, to get things out of boxes, to show them, to demonstrate. So, you know, there's a wide range of expectations when it comes to delivering service, and these touch points will differ depending on the person. So the touch points, they're all along the customer journey. They're not just at the till point. So they're all an opportunity for building a relationship with your customer. And they don't necessarily happen in the store. So if you think about it, if you use Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, any of your social media, people have got the ability to make comments and to write things about your product. That's an opportunity for a customer touch point. You've got the ability to respond to those customers, so it's an opportunity to deliver service. But you need to be really consistent with your approach, and you need to make sure that you're using the voice of your brand. If your brand's a young brand and young and trendy, you need to use a young and trendy voice. If your voice is a technical product, you need to use technical vocabulary and phrases. You don't want to be talking to somebody about something that's a level up there using language and phrases of something that's much lower, because you'll turn off the customer because you won't have approached it at the right level. And then that leads on to dealing with disappointment. Dealing with disappointment is an opportunity to deliver positive service. If you listen carefully to what the disappointment or the objection is, you can understand a whole lot, and you can turn that negative into a positive. Always try to offer a positive reason to the objection. I mean, if they're complaining about the price might be because of the quality of the product. So always try to think of something positive to counteract the negative. And use examples of the objection being overcome. So it might be, oh, I thought that, but when I used it, is a good example. And recognise that sometimes you won't be able to overcome the objection. That's just the way it is. It might be something like, I'm allergic to one of the ingredients. You can't take out an ingredient and swap it for something that the customer's not allergic to. So sometimes there's not a lot you can do. You've just got to remember that it's not personal unless the complaint is your behaviour. If you can't overcome the objection, offer an alternative and offer that based on what they've told you. If an alternative is not an option, then direct them to somewhere that will be able to fulfil their needs. This isn't a negative. We've talked about this. It's not a negative. This is about building a relationship with that person so the next time they come in, they know that you haven't tried to sell them something they didn't want. You told them where to go, so they know that they can trust you and they'll come and buy from you. Always be honest. Don't tell them fibs. Don't make exaggerations. Be honest. And it's about building trust. When you deal with disappointment, it's an opportunity to build loyalty and advocacy. And talking about advocates and loyalty, you can't buy loyalty. You can't buy it. It's got to be earned. And so building a loyal customer base who become advocates of your business is a marketing opportunity. Advocacy is not all about influencers and people flinging your products on Instagram and bigging them up and everything. It's about your regular customers recommending you every day. So when somebody says, oh, I need X, people will automatically say, go there to your business. And consistency and truthfulness will help you to build advocates and create loyalty. If you've got any questions on those areas, please drop me a line, alison.laws@yngrowthhub.com. Thank you.